Hundreds of patients, medical staff and people displaced by Israel's war against Hamas left Gaza's largest hospital Saturday, with one evacuee describing a panicked and chaotic scene as Israeli forces searched and face-scanned men among those leaving and took some away. Israel's military has been searching Gaza City's Shifa hospital for a Hamas command center that it alleges is located under the facility, a claim Hamas and hospital staff deny. The evacuation, which Israel says was voluntary, left behind only Israeli troops and a small number of health workers to care for those too sick to move. "We left at gunpoint," Mahmoud Abu Auf told the Associated Press by phone after he and his family left the crowded hospital. Tanks and snipers were everywhere inside and outside. He said he saw Israeli troops detain 3 men. Elsewhere in northern Gaza, dozens of people were killed in the urban Jabalia refugee camp when what witnesses described as an Israeli airstrike hit a crowded UN shelter in the main combat zone. It caused massive destruction in the camp's Fakora school, said wounded survivors Ahmed Radwan and Yassin Sharif. The scenes were horrifying. Corpses of women and children were on the ground. Others were screaming for help, Radwan said by phone. AP photos from a local hospital showed more than 20 bodies wrapped in blood-stained sheets. The Israeli military, which had warned Jabalia residents and others in a social media post in Arabic to leave, said only that its troops were active in the area, with the aim of hitting terrorists. It rarely comments on individual strikes, saying only that it targets Hamas while trying to minimize civilian harm. Receiving horrifying images and footage of scores of people killed and injured in another UNRWA school sheltering thousands of displaced, Philippe Lazzarini, the Commissioner General of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, or UNRWA, said on X, formerly Twitter. In southern Gaza, an Israeli airstrike hit a residential building on the outskirts of the town of Khan Yunis, killing at least 26 Palestinians, according to a doctor at the hospital where the bodies were taken. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said Israel's forces have begun operating in eastern Gaza City while continuing its mission in western areas. With every passing day, there are fewer places where Hamas terrorists can operate, he said, adding that the militants would learn that in southern Gaza, in the coming days. His comments were the clearest indication yet that the military plans to expand its offensive to southern Gaza, where Israel had told Palestinian civilians to flee early in the war. The evacuation zone is already crammed with displaced civilians, and it was not clear where they would go if the offensive moves closer. What led to the Shifa hospital evacuation wasn't immediately known.